So in this video, let's add some texture and color to our rocks. Let's start by switching to the shading tab here at the top. And I know for some of you, the material preview and Eevee render isn't working. So if you are not seeing anything here, if it's all black, what I want you to do is switch to the render tab. And let me say this, if you can see all this already, you don't have to do this step. This is just for those that are having trouble with your older computers not rendering anything in this window. So if you only see black and you don't see anything in the screen, go to this tab for your render settings, switch to cycles. Next, switch to rendered view by clicking this circle. Then let's add some light. Let's go to the world settings, color, click the yellow dot, and select sky texture. Now, it's not the most beautiful lighting, but it's quick and it will allow you to see what your scene looks like. All right, for now, I'm going to switch back to material preview. That way it loads a little bit quicker. And let's select all of our rocks. So select one with left mouse button, shift select, shift left click, shift left click. Once they're all selected, we'll press new. This new material is only on the active object, which is the one that has the lighter color outline. We want to go ahead and connect it to all of them. So in the 3D viewport, press Control L, then link material. Now they will all share the same material. Let's start by setting up our rocks to have just a variety of different shades of gray, similar to what we did with the trees. So we're going to hit Shift A to open the add menu, type in ramp to find the color ramp, place this to the left, and then connect the colors. Next, we'll hit Shift A to open the add menu, search for object info, place that here to the bottom left. Connect the random into the factor, and now it's going to start giving us some random colors on each rock based on this scale from black to white. Now, typically you're not going to have completely black rocks, so if you want to make this just a dark gray, that way you know you won't have any completely black rocks. And typically you won't have any rocks that are pure white. So I'm going to darken this so I have light, medium, and dark gray for my options. We could leave it this way, but I want to show you how to set it up so that your rocks also have some textures. So I'm going to zoom out and select the color ramp, move it down, leaving some room between the this node and this node to connect something later. And I'm just going to left click, drag, and slide this one down. Let's go ahead and select the color ramp, press Shift D to duplicate and slide up the copy. And we'll plug this into the base color, and when you do that, it will unplug the other one, which is fine. Now, make sure you have the color ramp here at the top selected. We're going to use a shortcut, Control T. If this shortcut doesn't work for you, it's because you need the Node Wrangler add-on turned on, and let me know in class and I can help you with that. So we're going to select the one that says image texture, and we are going to delete that. Next, Shift A, and we want to add a noise texture. We're going to take the factor from the noise texture, plug it into the factor of the color ramp. We're going to take the vector from this mapping node and plug it into the vector of the noise texture. So if we zoom in, we can see that there's some light or some subtle variations on the color of our rock. Let's change some numbers so we can see this better. Let's go to scale, and let's change the scale to something like 30 here on the noise texture. And you can see immediately we have some spots on the rock. And you're welcome to play with these numbers however you want. But if you put in 3 for detail and then change the roughness to 1, let's see, and leave everything else alone on that one, you get a pretty good effect. You can make it bigger or smaller by looking at the mapping node. And if you change this to 5 and this to 5, it will make the spots much smaller. If you do 0.5 and 0.5, it will make the spots bigger. So you're welcome to play with those numbers until you find an effect that you want. We can slide these around to increase kind of the low range of how dark it is and the high range. We can also click this plus button, and that will put a slider here in the middle. Let's put this one to the left. Click the plus button, and we'll put one to the right. And I'm going to change this to a slightly bluish color. And I'm going to change this to a slightly reddish color. So if you like the idea of having some rocks that have some different colors in it, you can do that. If you don't want to do that, you can click on this flag and hit the minus, click on this flag and hit the minus, and just keep them solid gray. So that is up to you if you want to do colors or just leave it grayscale. Last, it would be nice if we could combine these, because right now they're all the same color rock. There's not lighter or darker rocks. So we want to mix these two together. To do that, we'll hit Shift A, search for mix color, and then connect that here at the top. Then take the color from our other color ramp, connect it at the bottom. Now you see some of them are light with spots, some of them are darker with spots. Let's look at this mix color, and let's change mix to linear light. And that's going to give us a little more range. It's a bit too dark, so let's change. Let's see which one will affect that. I believe it would be, let's see here. Let's change, look at the bottom color ramp. We're going to look at this color flag on the left, and we're going to lighten that a little bit. Still not quite what I want. Let's also, that's not going to make a huge effect. Let's do this. I'm going to hit Control Z and undo this color change. So instead, I'm going to use the factor to adjust this. So the factor, if you are at 0, it uses only the top color ramp. If I'm at 1, it uses only the bottom color ramp. If I adjust this, it will use more or less of one or the other. So I'm just going to move this over until I can see the texturing. I'm getting some light rocks and some dark rocks. Last, we're going to change the roughness. Typically rocks aren't glossy unless they're wet, so we want to change the roughness to 1. That way they look really rough and they don't have shiny surfaces. And once again, you're welcome to play with these numbers however you want. Last, let's mark each of these as an asset for the library. So click on your first rock, right click, mark as asset, click on your next rock, mark as asset, and so on. And once you finish that, you can save this file and we'll use it in our future projects.